Hi everybody, my name is Lauren and I am the Omnivorous Bookworm. So I wanted to talk about my TBR for the Asian Readathon for May. I'm very excited about it. If you're not familiar with it, I will link the video down below. It's done by With Cindy, but I'm pretty sure if you found my video, you've seen hers. So the way I'm going to do my TBR, I don't usually make a TBR. So what I've decided to do is have a group of books, and then I can choose from some of those books for the readathon, just whatever I'm in the mood reading. So I plan to get to all of these books. Whether I'll get to all of them in May or not, probably not. But I will definitely get to all of them. A lot of these I already had, so it's just nice to have a reason to do it. And I will also be including the price that I found, because if you're like me and you're on a budget, I live in Mexico, so like we live on the peso, so I'm always trying to find like affordable options. So I have 10 different books here. Like I said, I'm probably not going to get to all of them in May because I want to read other things too. So one of the requirements for the readathon is to find a nonfiction book. So the one that I have chosen is The Reason I Jump, the inner voice of a 13-year-old boy with autism. And this is a Japanese boy who happens to have autism. He's nonverbal, and this is his memoir that he has made using like an alphabet grid. I've seen this book before and it looked really interesting to me. That's why I chose it. The English translation was a little bit pricey for me, but I noticed that the Spanish translation is on Kindle Unlimited. So the Spanish title, if that's something you're interested in is La razón por la que salto. So if that's something that you would be interested in. So he's from Japan. Another requirement for the readathon is to read a book from our favorite genre. So my favorite genre is a good cozy mystery. So I have chosen Auntie Lee's Delights, a Singaporean mystery by Ovidia Yu, and it's a cozy mystery set in Singapore. I don't believe that there's not US centric at all. So that's another one of the qualifications, is to find a book that's not US centric. So, and this I found for $1.99 US on Amazon, so it's a good choice if you're looking for something affordable too. The description says, after losing her husband, Rosie Lee could have become one of Singapore's Tai Tai, an idle rich lady. Instead, she is building a culinary empire from her restaurant, Auntie Lee's Delights, where spicy Singaporean meals are graciously served to locals and tourists alike. But when a body is found in one of Singapore's tourist havens and one of her guests fails to show at a dinner party, Auntie Lee knows that the two events are likely connected. So for me, it's perfect. I love a cozy mystery. I love when they have good food and they talk about food. It makes me hungry, but it sounds very good. The number 3 book I have, this has been on my Kindle Unlimited for a while, and it's only 99 cents if you want to purchase it, but it's also available on Kindle Unlimited. It's called The Question of Red by Lakshmi Pamuchak. I'm sorry, I'm so sure I butchered that. I've had it forever, and well, not forever, like a month, and so I'm really excited to get to it. It seems pretty ambitious. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but they said the author supposedly she has won a lot of awards, so maybe she can pull this off. But it's sort of a historical book that starts in the 1950s and then kind of goes to present day, or whenever the book was, I think goes up to 2011, so basically the present day. And it incorporates Indonesian mythology. I know the beginning has that, and then it also, a lot of the book takes place in the 1950s and 1960s in Indonesia, which was a pretty tumultuous time So that seems like it will be very interesting. The main character is Amba, and there's also, seems like maybe some kind of a, I don't think it's a love triangle. It's more that she has to choose between these two different guys, so there might be some romantic aspects. So it seems basically kind of like a historical literary book with some romantic aspects, if that sounds interesting to you. And that author is Indonesian. There also it doesn't seem to be US centric at all, so it could be a good option for that part as well. I found two books, two novellas from her name is Nevo. I'm not sure if I don't think I'm saying that right either, so I apologize. The first one I found is The Empress of Salt and Fortune, The Singing Hills Cycle Book 1, and it was $3.99. This is fantasy. I think it might be YA. It says a young royal from the far north is sent south for a political marriage in an empire reminiscent of imperial China. Her brothers are dead, her armies and their war mammoths long defeated and caged behind their borders. Alone and sometimes reviled, she must choose her allies carefully. So I love a good fantasy, especially a fantasy that's not European based. That's always a good selling point for me. So, and the second book is called, the second novella, number 5, that I have on my list, is When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, and this is the Singing Hills Cycle Book 2. It's also $3.99 on Amazon US, but it says that it's a standalone, so I assume that there are different characters. It's just set in the same type of world that we have here. So it says the cleric Chi finds themselves and their companions at the mercy of a band of fierce tigers who ache with hunger. To stay alive until the mammoths can save them, Chi must unwind the intricate layered story of the tiger and her scholar lover, a woman of courage, intelligence, and beauty, and discover how truth can survive becoming history. Sorry, I can't see well, so I have to hold it really close. Apologize for that. So When the Tiger Came Down, that looks really interesting, and I like that these two are novellas, so it's a nice sort of palate cleanser, especially the Indonesian one. It seems interesting, but it seems a little bit like hard for my brain. So it would be nice to have a little fantasy novella to kind of to mix things up if I need to. Let's see, I'm on number 6. So we have The Empire of Sand, The Books of Amba, Book 1, and this is by Tasha Suri. And she has on her biography that she is British and Punjabi. I just am giving the ethnicities that people have on their biography. I didn't do any extra research. If somebody didn't list it, I'm not going to make assumptions or stalk them to find out what country either they or their ancestors are from. So if they have it listed, I will tell you. Let's see. This is also a fantasy, and it seems pretty popular. I think right now, like as I make this video, it's on sale for $4.99. But yeah, I don't think that that's going to be for much longer, because she has a new book coming out, I think, which is why. So the Amethy are outcast nomads, descended of desert spirits. They are coveted and persecuted throughout the Amban Empire for the power in their blood. Mare is the illegitimate daughter of an imperial governor and exiled. Amitha's mother she can barely remember, but whose face and magic she has inherited. So it sounds really interesting. It sounds like a lot of a political fantasy with a lot of political machinations. I'm pretty sure this is pretty popular, but I've never heard of it before, so I'm excited to read that. I don't think I'm going to get to this in May, though. Probably not, if I'm being honest with myself. So I have other things I'm planning on reading, so I'm probably being a little bit too, but it's nice to have it as an option. Number 7, I have Oleander Girl, And this is by Chitra Banerjee Divarakuni. She's Indian American. I think I've read this before, actually. It was on my Kindle, but I couldn't remember if I've read it or not. I know I've read other things by this author, and I really, really like her writing. She's wrote The Mistress of Spices, The Palace of Illusions, Sister of My Heart. The books that I've read, The Sister of My Heart, I think, was more contemporary, but the other two, Mistress of Spices and Palace of Illusions, have a lot of sort of magical realism aspects to them that I really enjoyed. She's kind of over the top, her writing style. So this one seems more contemporary. It's about a young woman. What's her name? Korobi. And she's from a wealthy family in Calcutta, and she ends up immigrating to the U.S., and it's about her experience of living in the U.S. as an immigrant from a wealthy family in post 9/11 U.S. So I know Chitra Banerjee Divarakuni, her writing is really beautiful, so I'm pretty sure I would enjoy anything that she writes. Because she's just such a talented writer. So I might get to that this month. Probably not. Trying to set realistic goals for myself. Okay, so number 8, I have Rusha and the End of Time, a Pandava novel, book 1, Pandava series, and it is by Roshani Chokshi, and it is a middle grade fantasy. I just got the sample for this, so I don't know if I would buy it or not. The price is $5.99. It's a little high for me personally, but it looks like a really great book. It's published or has a foreword or something with Rick Riordan. And it looked like they were planning to make a movie out of it. It's about a girl, Rusha, who she has a tendency to kind of lie a little bit, and she says while her classmates are jetting off to family vacations in exotic locales, she'll be spending her autumn break at home at the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture, waiting for her mom to return from her latest archaeological trip. And then seems like things happen, lots of crazy things. Her mom gets like frozen, and she has to rescue her wearing her Spider-Man pajamas, which I thought was really cute. And it also incorporates different types of mythology. I think it's predominantly Indian mythology. So it looks wonderful. I would love to read this book at some point. So now on number 9, I have The Turtle of Oman, which is by Naomi Shihabnai, and she's Palestinian and American, I believe. It's available for $1.99 on Amazon, and it is also middle grade. And this author also writes poetry, so the writing seems really lyrical, really beautiful. Definitely seems like a great pick for adults as well as kids. And it's about a little boy named Aref, and he lives in Oman. And his parents are going to Michigan to graduate school, and he doesn't want to go be with them, and then he goes on this sort of journey with his grandpa and learns things, I assume. And it's sort of about that journey. So it's a nice story about a relationship with a young boy and his grandpa, and leaving the place that you love. And I hope it doesn't make me cry, or maybe I do, I'm not sure, but it sounds really beautiful. Her writing is really lovely. So, and the last one I have is The Impossible Girl by Lydia Kong. I've read other books by her. One book I read, Opium and Absinthe, that I really love. And this is a historical mystery and suspense thriller. Lydia Kong is actually a doctor as well. So she works as a doctor, she writes novels. She's also written a nonfiction book. She co-wrote it with somebody. I don't know who. And it's called Quackery. And it's about the history of medicine and all the crazy things that people used to do in the name of medicine. I wanted to read that one, but it's just out of my price range, so I didn't pick that one. But that could be a good option for you if you're looking for something. This book, particularly The Impossible Girl, it takes place in Manhattan in 1850, and it follows this young woman who is the daughter of a wealthy socialite and an immigrant. Her name is Cora Lee, and so she kind of knows these two different worlds, and she works getting bodies for the medical department, because obviously at that time people weren't donating their bodies to science, so they have to like find these bodies. And so she's working doing that. And she also has an unusual medical condition where she has two hearts. So it seems like somebody's going to be trying to kill her to get her body for science. So it's a little bit dark, but seems very, very interesting, and has a mystery thriller aspect to it. This is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it has the ebook as well as the audio, which is always nice. So I'm very, very, very excited to read that book. I will definitely be getting to that book for whether there's a readathon or no. Like, I might actually finish this book in April. I might not wait till May to start it, so then it won't count. But anyway, so those are like the 10 books that I have as like sort of my TBR group that I can choose from. I know also, I noticed this month, at the end of the month, Jhumpa Lahiri is releasing a new book. She's a really great author. I've read Interpreter of Maladies by her, which I think won the Pulitzer Prize. It's like a short story collection that's really, really good. So that can be another option if you're looking for something like that. She's more of a literary writer, but she writes really clearly. It's not like literary where you're confused about what's happening to people. And interesting. She has interesting characters. So those are my picks for the Asian Readathon. I'm very excited about all of them. So let me know down below, what are you reading for the Asian Readathon, if you are reading anything. If you're not, did any of these books sound interesting to you? Or do you have any recommendations for any other books I can add to my massive TBR list? I'll always add more things. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.